Thanks for coming back and for your testimony. As you know, last August, NIST released a plan for prioritizing federal agency engagement in the development of standards for AI. A few of my colleagues and I wrote a letter to you in December urging NIST to work collaboratively with industry and stakeholders in developing useful frameworks. In your response, you mentioned NIST was considering follow-on workshops to bring together the government, industry, and academia. Just quick status update. How are things progressing on that front? What next steps are imminent?
Yeah, thanks very much. And as you know, NIST works collaboratively with industry and across the federal sector, with academia as well, to convene the stakeholder community. We've held actually a series of programs and workshops very recently. NIST was also at the RSA conference in California that allowed the community of practice to talk about the development of tools and systems for the future. We look forward to continue to hold programs and workshops, and also providing the testing tools as well on an increasingly focused basis. We know that this is something that NIST is called upon to do from the executive order, and also having a broad range of tools for the broad range of applications. We've spoken at some length now about facial recognition technologies, but biometrics more broadly.
Yep.
Our utilization of systems for positive identification, and so many applications also in the biological laboratory, and also our ability to utilize protocols such as machine learning to quickly identify deep fakes, which are becoming an increasing concern for our nation as we also look to the election process coming ahead.
Yeah, thank you, and we look forward to following your progress on that.
Thanks.
Another thing that you've mentioned is the notion of international standards and participating in international standard-setting organizations. I think that's critical. The book Tools and Weapons by Brad Smith that came out recently, I think frames technology well, right? It's not good or bad. It's how do we apply it? Right. As I look at the technologies of the future and the incredibly powerful technologies of the future, I think we all know that it's incumbent that Western values, Western democratic values, ultimately dictate the standards for that future. That being said, how have we progressed within the international community? What steps do we need to take, and how important is it that we are the dominant player economically or technologically in being able to set those standards or influence the dialogue?
Yeah, thank you so much, Congressman Gonzalez. It's an exciting time, as we know. Standards drive commerce and global trade. It's important for the United States to be at the leadership table. I'm delighted at the principles for artificial intelligence, for example, that were communicated through the Office of Science and Technology Policy. NIST has been a contributor in the development of the OECD guidelines for the appropriate use of artificial intelligence. It's important for the United States to understand the competitive dynamic globally in which we work. It requires us to organize more efficiently, recognizing that we are still a private sector-led standards process, and that we respect the role of the private sector. But it's important for the government. In this case, the role of NIST is being called out time and again, that we need to stand up even more strongly as a close partner to industry at the standards tables. And I'm delighted to say that NIST is involved in standards organizations globally, each of the key ones, nearly 1,500 standards committees has representation from NIST and support from NIST. It represents a major investment by our community, and we recognize that that's something we need to continue to step up to assure American leadership globally.
Great, and we look forward to continuing to support your work in that endeavor, critically important. And with that, I yield back.
At this time,